As an engineer who wants to learn, grow, and try various things and build organization and build amazing platforms, this is the best place to be. I'm Gaurav.
I'm Ruchir, and you're dining in here at KKR.
Happy Friday, Ruchir. Thank you for taking the time on this Friday afternoon. Beautiful sunshine. We have been doing a lot of engineering hires, and there are a lot of questions that everybody's asking. Tell me about KKR's technology organization. How is this structured? How does it support the firm's broader view of investments and operational goals?
I think simplicity in face of complexity is how we should think about the role of technology in the company. The business that we are in, if you think about the state of the industry is still very new. Private markets, while it was invented over here many, many years ago, like where we are sitting, our founders actually created the industry. But private markets as such have not necessarily evolved to the same state as public markets have. And that creates, an enormous challenge, but also an enormous opportunity. To build something simple for a hard problem, you first need to simplify the organization that we have and the responsibilities that we have. And that's what we've been doing. You've been a part of this journey too, Gaurav. And if you think about the basic building blocks, we have clear segregation of duties, facing off to specific business units. There's a team that faces off to the investors. There's a team that faces off to the folks who face off to our clients and clients who are basically investors in our firm, or invest in our products. And then how we support the rest of the firm in terms of the platform.
Well, you make it sound so simple. In my experience, simple is very hard.
Yes,
And
I completely agree.
Simpler said than done. But I appreciate you thinking that way and having a thought process around how do you start simple, start small, think big, iterate to get there.
One of the other things which I'm really excited about is, apart from the organization, we're building for global scale. We want to be in every single market of talent where we can get the most amazing people to come and join our team. I mean, you and I both share that passion, Gaurav.
Yeah.
I was actually in Gurgaon, just a couple of weeks ago, and just meeting with the folks over there. We have an incredible set of people who are coming and joining us. And if you think about how many great companies have been able to scale and build out amazing product out of those talent centers, we want to be in those talent centers.
Absolutely.
And scale out from there. What initially drew you to KKR and ultimately made you decide to make the move?
Short answer. A great company with you, fantastic view outside on a Friday afternoon, what else? Jokes apart. So many reasons, but I'll summarize into three. One, the technology for private markets has not been explored, has not been built. So I kind of see the opportunity. Second, is the organization that you're joining, is it ready for innovation? Does it have the right degree of acceptance to the change? When I think about KKR, like you mentioned before, organization who has formed the industry. So innovation is in the DNA. Since like 49 years, to me, it just feels like a startup. We are scrappy, we are open-minded, we try everything, we are okay to accept, certain degrees of failure. We are okay to build, iterate, get to market quickly and then improvise on it, get feedback. Third is the timing. When you have unexplored problems, you need a range of technology which has answer to a lot of problems that have not been yet solved. The timing is just right with AI at the helm. It's just bring the two together. What can we do with artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing? Most of the problems that we deal with in our organization like ours are related to data, mostly unstructured data. So I kind of look at that as an opportunity, like, okay, as an engineer who wants to learn, grow, and try various things and build organization and build amazing platforms, this is the best place to be. What are some of the novel challenges that KKR's technology team is tackling?
We've been collecting data in our company for the 5 decades. And over the 5 decades, we've experimented. We've got many platforms, just like anybody else who's been in business for like 5 decades. we also have tremendous amount of data. Being able to canonically organized, being able to stitch lineage, being able to truly treat unstructured data as a first-class citizen so it feeds seamlessly into our investment process, providing intelligence to our client teams so they can focus on the right geographies and the right products, just creates this level of business agility, which is really awesome. The other really cool thing is, just if I can focus on what we're doing with asset-backed finance and in our credit space, we're dealing with very large amounts of data that has variety of different formats. You look at one data set, and you and I were talking about this the other day, this looks very different from anything else that we've seen. So the hard computer science problem, in my mind at least, is when you have very large amount of inconsistency to start with, how do you actually build a consistent and kind of scalable platform knowing that we have large amount of inconsistency? So this esoteric nature of data problems that we have, I think that's a really interesting problem to solve. I think the platforms that we're building on top of that, those are also very interesting, because you cannot just say that, oh, I coded these set of rules and now it applies to everything. That is not a thing. And that's the interesting part of building for private markets in general. But I'll flip the question to you too, Gaurav, because in the 4 months that you've been here, you've immersed yourself in many of these really complex problems.
We as a company are across industries. I know everybody thinks KKR is a financial company. We also work with hundreds of our portfolio companies. Some are healthcare, some are retail, some are energy. It's kind of across everywhere. So the cross section of problems is very, very unique. So I kind of feel there is a big multi-array of problems that are out there, which are depth of data problems, harnessing quality and insights of it, needle in a haystack, then knowledge graphs, then building high-performing systems, and then obviously the math aspect.
So let me take the next question, Gaurav.
All right.
So what qualities do you look for when hiring technologists for your team?
Really good question, and also top of mind as I'm actively interviewing many of the engineers and leaders. Building technology in this industry is a team sport. Collaboration, number one skill to look for. How well do you collaborate with each other? This is a new industry for technologists to be able to learn, to be able to, so humility, but also very high curiosity. Like accept that you don't know everything. And it's okay to say that I don't know. Being able to ask the questions why, maybe sometimes a few more times, because the other person also may not know the answer, and it's okay to again.
And you're discovering together.
Right, we are learning together, we are discovering together. When I think about, just as a pure engineer, then of course you must write good code, but but the most important part, I think the generative skills are far enough that can improve the quality of code and the text and the emails. So, those are far becoming the table stakes. But having a high bar for yourself and for the team with a strong sense of ownership, because as we are building some of these things, I'm looking to build, large scalable platforms, and that will be based out of multiple regions. So strong ownership, high degree of accountability, and overall a sense of urgency so that you have a bias for action. Try, iterate. If we make mistakes, that's okay, because we can recover from it fairly quick and fairly fast.
I just love the way you describe the general persona. You got to be curious, and you got to chase your curiosity, and those are all such important things. We have this thing that's running on our computer screens in our office at the moment, which is literally says arrogance kills.
That's true.
You and I talk about this quite a lot. Arrogance is the biggest impediment to learning. And if we stop learning, then we won't be innovating. And the idea generation stops. This entire firm was founded on new ideas, creative ideas, and our ability to execute on those really innovative yet hard ideas. But it starts with curiosity.
What do you think is special about the way we work at KKR?
When I came into the firm, one of the first things that really struck me was really this culture of partnership. Scott said to me, one of the earliest things he said to me is, no one's allowed to suffer in silence over here.
That's amazing.
And it's a really important comment, in my opinion, because that is how we work. That is how we work with each other every day. We have an amazing cafeteria. We're sitting over here, and we all eat together every day. We have a shared vision. We have a shared motive. We help each other irrespective of what your role is. You can literally rely on the person sitting right next to you to execute with you every day. And that culture of partnership, in my opinion, is a significant differentiator. It's almost like our firm to the power of partnership. That sort of a multiplier effect, compounding effect sort of leads to amazing outcomes. What advice do you have for newcomers to the technology team, given that you've just recently joined yourself? But it doesn't feel like that. I feel like we've been working together for years. What advice would you give to the folks who are coming in?
Stay curious, because there is so much unknown here. Focus on learning why certain things have been done. Second, I'll focus on is being adaptable. Adapt to the change. We are also a learning company. We are also a very changing company. So being part of like what you do, what your role is, what your deliverables are, who your stakeholders are, be adaptable to some of those changes as we continue to evolve, because we are also learning and seeing in the industry how things are evolving, and we are adjusting to it. The third thing which I'll focus on is you touched upon many times, cannot emphasize enough, collaboration. Collaborate with everybody else. No one has got all the answers, and that's okay. Those are the three skills I will recommend everybody to come in. And again, the feelings of imposter syndrome, extremely real. You will see brightest people who are working and talking next to you, and you're like, oh my God. And so, I had that first month of glory and scare. Thinking about, what I know, is that enough? Or what you know about from a technology perspective, is that enough? I do not think you need to judge yourself or second guess yourself. Those are the things, like part those out. Think about what you can contribute, what you can learn, how you would grow. Everything else is going to just take care of itself.